Hi, everyone. I see I see all of our new youth council members here. So, and we've got our chair and our vice chair. So there's Maya and Vanessa's our chair. If you guys want to turn on your cameras so we can see you. There's Sophia. Dhruvi. And then we have, I know Olivia's on too. Okay. So did everyone get the email I sent out with Robert's Rules of Order and the Youth Council orientation, all new members? Before we get started? All right, so Vanessa, what are the key things that you think that they should know before the meeting starts? As far as how to participate?
Well, I'd just like to say, like, this is my first year doing youth council too, so definitely, like, don't feel worried about, like, making a mistake or, like, asking a question during, like, the meeting. Everyone's been, like, very helpful, so, like, don't worry at all about that. Like, we'll definitely, like, help you through it, and I'll, like, try to, like, assist you throughout the meeting. So, yeah, just, like, feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah, so a few of you new members are voting members and a few are non-voting members, just because they couldn't expand the number of high schoolers that could vote, which was unfortunate. So when we do votes by roll call, so Vanessa will call out your name for those of you that are voting members. So that I believe is Maya and Dhruvi. But Olivia and Sophia, every other thing participate just like a regular member of the youth council. You just won't participate in votes, but you can contribute to ideas or questions or things like that. So everything else is normal. And then the other thing too is if maybe a youth council member doesn't continue to participate, we can move you into one of those voting positions. So we can't really conduct any meeting things, and we just wanted to let you know what you can do in the meeting, and it's going to start right at 7. And it will be put on the town website too. So these meetings, so just to let you know that even though we're in a Zoom meeting, this is a public meeting. So it's can be put on the town website. People can watch it live once the meeting's called to order. So that's just something to be aware of. Anything else, Vanessa or Vice Chair Madeline, that you think the youth council? Does everyone have the agenda? They should have gotten that in their email. So we're so excited you're here and that we can get started.
I did just want to say one thing quickly. Like, don't be afraid to speak up. Like, if you have something that you want to contribute or something, like, definitely say it, because I know, like, when I was on last year too, and for a while, like, I just didn't really say anything, but like, definitely participate if you have something to say.
Okay, we have just about another minute while we wait for members to jump on. Got our clerk here. That's a good thing. All right, Vanessa, you can probably get started.
Okay, sounds good. So welcome new members. It's very exciting to have you here. So welcome to our second Zoom meeting for the Youth Council. It is November 1st, 2022, and it is currently 7:01, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. So next on our agenda is attendance. So I'm just gonna go down the list of everyone's name, and when you hear your name, just say here. Ahmed Othman,
Here.
Aliyah Tui,
Here.
Allah Othman, not here. Juvi Upmani,
Here.
sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Elizabeth
Do you want to
Mendoza,
tell Vanessa how your name, tell us all how your name's pronounced?
Oh, you can just call me Druvy.
Okay.
I'm just fine with that.
Sounds good. Elizabeth Menjivar, Juliana Spalding.
Here.
Madeline Naper,
Here.
Matthew O'Brien,
Here.
Maya Pollock,
Here.
Olivia Wall,
Here.
Paige Arkansas,
Here.
Sadie Lomnack,
Here.
Sophia Peneghetti,
Here.
and Thomas Baronato.
Here.
Okay, so item number 3. So as you might have noticed, we have 4 new youth council members with us. So we have 1 more middle schooler and then 3 high schoolers. So Juvie and Maya are going to be voting members, and then Olivia and Sophia are not. But you guys are obviously like equally as important, and we love to hear like everyone's ideas. So if you guys want to just like say your names or like something that you do or like what grade you're in, that'd be really helpful. Juvie, did you want to start?
Yeah, sure, I'll start. I'm Druvy. I'm in 8th grade, and the reason I joined Youth Action or Youth Council is to like help with the ideas of Wakefield and to make it a little bit of a better society, and just to kind of see like what's happening in the town. So yeah.
Thank you. Maya, did you want to go next?
I'm Maya. I'm in 9th grade, and I'm really glad I can experience this. And I've been like having a glimpse, Madeline Naper, she's like my best friend. And I've been kind of like going along and really wanting to be interested with the community. And I think this will be like a good experience. And I'm really glad that I can be here to be involved.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Madeline, for spreading awareness about us. It's great to have new members. Sophia, would you like to go next?
I'm Sophia. I'm in 9th grade, and I really wanted to join because I wanted to get involved in the community, and I want to help people. I want to just be involved.
Yeah, definitely. Olivia?
My name's Olivia. I'm in 9th grade, and I was just excited to be on youth council, to have a voice for like myself and my peers, and just to be a part of the community.
Sounds good. So we'll move on to item number 3, or item number 4, I mean, which is public comment. I don't think there's anyone from the public here right now, but for new members, like Catherine was saying earlier, these meetings are like posted ahead of time, so people from the public can come to listen, or share like ideas or anything they want to, for the youth council. So the next item is the approval.
Vanessa, we do have Counselor Chines here. Maybe he has to see if he has any updates.
Okay, sure.
Well, thank you. Well, I actually don't have any updates today, but just want to quickly welcome our new members. It was great to appoint you guys last week at our meeting. And so good to see you here and glad you're able to join the committee. As I've said to people before, I'm here also as a resource to the Youth Council. So if there are any questions that you have or anything that I can be helpful with, please reach out to me and let me know anytime.
Thank you so much. Okay, so for the approval of meeting minutes from our last meeting, which was in person in October, Ollie, did you want to explain what happened, especially for our new members, what happened at that meeting?
Yes, thank you, Vanessa. So at our last meeting, which was October 19th, we got called into order just after 12:30 p.m. and we had no public comments, and I followed by giving the meeting minutes summary, and they were approved unanimously. Then Catherine gave an update with liaison positions, saying that all members should have received a member introduction with their liaisons. And if they don't hear a response back from their liaisons, they should follow up with them in another email. And following this, Vanessa and Madeline gave a debrief and updated us on the Town Day event and how it was very successful for the Youth Council. We had broad interest in the council among parents and some younger Wakefield youth. And we also had some suggestions on things that we could take on or talk with our liaisons about. And then Juliana gave her presentation on Safe Streets, explaining what they're working on in regards to their future events and also how things went for them on Town Day. After this, Paige gave her update on her hygiene care project, explaining how she met with Jacqueline Powers, who's the representative for the library, and how she's working to get feminine hygiene products into the library, potentially through the organization OnFlow. And following this, Catherine brought up the Veterans Day cleanup, which is an initiative that we're going to be doing. And a communications meeting was scheduled to handle the planning of the event. And to conclude, Town Council Liaison Jonathan Chines gave an update as to what's going on in the town, and then we adjourned unanimously. So do we have any questions about that? All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce you before you started, but we have a clerk, Ali. So every single meeting, he kind of gives like a summary of what happened at our past meeting in case people weren't there, or if there are people from the public who want to know, just like a little update of what's happening in the Youth Council. Okay, so do I hear a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
So now I'm gonna read down the list of people, and you can just say yes to approve or no to not approve. Ahmed Othman,
Yes.
Ali Atui,
Yes.
Druvi Upman. How do you say your last name? I'm sorry.
Manu.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I approve.
Juliana Spalding.
Yes.
Madeline Naper,
Yes.
Matthew O'Brien,
Yes.
Maya Pollock,
Yes.
Paige Arkansas,
Yes.
Sadie Lomnack,
Yes.
and Thomas Baronato.
Yes.
Okay. So on our next item, we have liaison updates. So I think everyone should have gotten an email from Catherine connecting you to like the head of whatever your liaison is. And so you guys might have like reached out to them and started communicating. I don't know if any of you guys have gone to a meeting yet. I think I have one for mine like in a week or two. So I don't know if you wanted to give any updates, Catherine, for the newer members too.
Sure. I can give an update. I just wondered, does anyone have any updates from meetings that they've had or communications that they've had with their liaison positions? Oh, we've got a couple. Okay, so maybe Vanessa, you could call out folks and hear the updates.
Yeah, Ali.
I am the liaison to media and communications. So I haven't been to a meeting yet, but I've been in communication with Jen McDonald, who is the head of media and communications for the town. And hopefully I'll be having a meeting with her later this week or next week. So.
Sounds good. Ahmed.
Yeah, I'm the liaison of the school committee, and I had a meeting with my liaison, Kevin Fontanelli. And we basically discussed that whenever I felt needed, I would go to the school committee and I would just give like a quick report about what youth council was going to be doing. And we decided that after our cleanup, then I would have like enough information to give a report. So after our Veterans Day like cleanup, I'll go to the school committee and I'll give my report out.
Sounds good. Was there anyone else who wanted to? Juliana?
I went to a Safe Streets meeting a couple of weeks ago. There hasn't been another one. Well, no, there hasn't been another one yet. But we talked about like finding safer routes to school and traffic patterns for kids that walk to the Galvin. And me and Kathleen Tui, I'm not sure how to say her last name, we crafted an email and sent it to Doug Lyons asking about traffic reports. So we're waiting for a response on that.
Sounds good. Was there anyone else that I missed? I think that's everyone. Okay.
Okay, so and just to let our new members know, well, first of all, with old members, has anyone not made a connection or received an email from their liaison position? Everyone just give me the thumbs up if they've heard from their person. All right. Excellent. Okay, great. So for our newest members, and after next week, you won't be our new members anymore, but just for today's sake, we have liaison positions for each member, as you've heard, and you all will have a liaison role. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions that are open that you might have interest in. So what I'll do is I'll send this out to all of you via email after this meeting, and you can rank your interests. But current openings are the police department, the veterans department, community and economic development, the recreation department, which we have a couple things going on. So that would be a great one for someone. The planning board and the commission on disabilities. So actually that's 6 openings. So you'll have some choices. So you'll be able to let me know the top 3 choices that you have. And you can reply back to me via email, and then I'll be able to follow up with you on what your liaison position assignment is and some of the responsibilities that go along with that.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions about like what the liaisons are, or any questions about them?
Or like what kind of, can you explain like more in detail on what they are or like what they kind of do? Because I don't know that much about them.
So there's different groups in the town, like Catherine was mentioning before, and they have meetings similar to these ones. And so we all just like try to stay connected and share like what we've been like up to in the town. So like we kind of give a report to whatever group you're a liaison to and say like what we're doing here as the youth council. And they can also share like what they've been doing and come to our meetings and kind of give like a feature of maybe an event that they're hosting or something that they might need help with. And so we can help communicate with them or give them ideas, anything like that. So you can pick a group that you're interested in, and it's kind of like a partnership. So you can work with them and you go to their meetings, which are normally like monthly or every other week. It just like depends on the group. In fact, like Mr. Chines is here as a liaison to our group. So he's from the town council, and he comes to our meetings and helps us out and gives us insight.
And Vanessa, if I could just add to that, you did a great job, I think, summarizing what it is. I think what a lot of you will find as you work with the different groups that you're liaisons to is that there are projects and things where they really want to figure out how to get youth feedback or get youth involved in different initiatives. So I know Catherine mentioned the rec department liaison position is open. Last year, that was one where Dan McGrath, the head of the rec department, really wanted to figure out how to better engage with students in town around, for example, keeping the basketball courts at Galvin clean and well maintained. And so that was how this whole idea of the Veterans Day cleanup started last year. It was really around, I think, Dan trying to get advice from from kids who are using the courts and using the fields to figure out like what are some ways in which we can get people kind of bought into this. So it really is. I think sort of like a back and forth relationship where it's definitely an opportunity. And I think those of us who are liaisons on the adult side kind of see it as an opportunity to, be there for the youth council and to provide the support that you guys need, but also to kind of get your expertise, your help, your assistance, your input on things in town that, that affect young people and affect students.
And that's a great example, Counselor Chines. And I know to also further that, I think that was Nick and I can't remember who the other member was that worked on that initiative. They actually held a focus group at the Galvin with students to understand why are students leaving litter everywhere. And the group of young people who actually use the fields and the courts made some recommendations that were then passed on to the recreation department. So as Counselor Chine says, there was a really good opportunity for back and forth.
Yeah, definitely. I know like personally, I've worked with like the Human Rights Commission, and they've had like many events that have been very successful, but they want like a bigger demographic or more people to come to their events. So I helped like put out flyers or things like that around the school or the town, just to get the word out. I know we posted stuff on our Instagram, and they don't have an Instagram, so that really like helped them to spread the word, especially to a younger demographic. So things like that, we definitely can. It's a back and forth relationship, like Mr. Chimes is saying. Were there any other questions about what the liaisons are?
No, not really. I think you guys covered that good.
Okay, so next I think we have a project update from Paige following the hygiene care at the library and around the town.
Yeah, so I haven't heard anything else from Jacqueline Powers. Like I said last week, she emailed the company Offlow, but I haven't heard anything back from her. So I'll definitely check in eventually and make sure, but as of right now, I don't know anything else.
I actually have an update page because Jacqueline tried to email you, but I think she said she has the wrong email, so I have to follow back up. But she said that remember how the library said that they have a lot of issues with vandalism in their bathrooms, and that that having the sanitary products in there kind of free of charge might lead to problems, which is really unfortunate. So one thought she had was there are coin operated ones there. So one thought she had was that perhaps you could make signs for all the bathrooms, letting people know that there's free change at the different desks, the circulation desks and the reference desk and stuff, for anyone that needs products.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Okay, so I'll do you have Jacqueline's email?
I'm
Ms.
feel like I
Powers?
do somewhere. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, so if you don't, just reach out to me, but I would definitely, if you can follow up with her on that and have, and make those signs and work with the library to get those up. And then also to make sure that they have enough change at the different desks.
Okay.
And then maybe next week or in a couple weeks, you can give us an update.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I think like the library is definitely like a good step, but I was wondering if there were like any other places in town that you'd be interested in like implementing these like ideas.
No, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I started with a food pantry, which didn't work. Didn't end up working out, but I know there's new development on bathrooms at at the lake, which won't be coming for a couple years, but I feel like when it gets a little bit closer, we can start to advocate for that on the planning committee, like possibly like attending a meeting or sending an email to the head of that. I'm not entirely sure of who that is, but yeah, so that, and I was also thinking of reaching out to restaurants and asking, like certain ones in town, like Public Kitchen is just like one that comes to mind. It's in the middle of town. Yeah.
It's a great idea. Paige, what about the Civic Center too? Because there's a lot of people using the Civic Center, especially the Boys and Girls Club and things like that. So that might be a good option. You could
Yeah.
email Dan McGrath.
Okay, Dan McGrath. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think those are good ideas. I didn't even think about like restaurants and places like that, but I think that would be really good. I kind of had a question for like Mr. Chines. I know I'm going to some meetings for the Wakefield Human Rights Commission. They were talking about applying for a grant, and I like know that the deadline passed for that. But I remember from our last meeting, figuring out like if we used a company like Aunt Flo, like how we would get the funding for that. Like I was wondering if we wanted to submit like an application for a grant in the future, even if it isn't for a project like this, like how that would work.
Yeah, so I think it depends on, so it depends on the grant itself. Actually, probably the best person to talk to would be Erin Kakinda, who's our Community and Economic Development Director. She manages a lot of the grant submissions that we do as a town, you know, and might be able to help kind of give advice in terms of how you apply as a town body. You know, probably the key thing is to look at sort of what's the opportunity that you want to go after. So for example, if you wanted to apply for a grant for the hygiene product project, you know, you'd want to understand, okay, you know, how many you know, buildings are we looking to put products in? What do we think our total cost is? You know, to have almost sort of a plan for what you're asking for and kind of the details behind that. And then you'd want to find out, you know, who's sort of the right potential funder that you'd apply for. This is also something where you know, it may be something that we'd want to fund through an appropriation at the town level. So we are just starting to kick off our budget process for the fiscal year that begins on July 1st, 2023. And, you know, if we're talking about, you know, funding products, for example, in the library or in the Civic Center, you know, that's something that, you know, we may want to think about just building into our budget. I don't think it's a big expense. So, you know, certainly from a financing standpoint, it's not going to break the bank for the town, but that's another avenue that we could go down. So I would suggest maybe as, you know, Paige, as you start to kind of get some of these ideas in place and get an idea of, you know, if restaurants are interested in doing this or so forth, maybe we can talk about sort of how to cost out what we think the cost, you know, the cost for those products are, and then we can talk about different ways in which either through grant funding or through an appropriation, we try to ask for some financial support for that.
Yeah, and I would say that keep that in mind too for any of the liaison positions that you all have. Because there are I've submitted about 3 different
I was going to say,
grants for-
Catherine, you've probably done a ton too.
I'd submitted one today.
So-
So that's something that we could help you find in the fact that it's a youth organization. There are actually specific grants that are youth driven for youth organizations to apply for. So we could definitely, and kind of keep that in mind when you're all thinking through your liaison roles.
Paige?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea. Just applying for a grant for the project in general. But I was also thinking that even like starting out, or like say like specific places we could do like fundraising if we're not doing if the offload doesn't end up working out, or not fundraising, sorry, like donation drive throughout the schools. I feel like usually things like that work pretty well. Or like even throughout town, like if one's in the civic center or something. I don't know if grants are too much or it doesn't work out, or yeah, but that's just another possibility of starting out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good point, just to like kind of test out like how it's like going, or like the interest in it. I think that would be like a good way to start off. Are there any last questions for Paige or any other comments? Okay. So I know Juliana's working at the library right now, so she's kind of preoccupied. I don't know if you can like talk or anything. It's okay if we can leave it for the next meeting. But did you have any updates on your liaison, or I don't know if we wanted to also like mention the Snow Angels project, because I know you ran that last year, so I feel like you'd be like a good resource to kind of help us get it back up and running this year.
Yeah, my update was pretty much what I talked about when we were giving half liaison updates in the beginning. Not a lot of new things, but that email was sent. And I can definitely start getting Snow Angels up and working again. I'm not sure, is there a liaison to the Council on Aging committee?
I am the Council on Aging liaison, so we can definitely work
Okay. Yeah, I can share documents with you because I have a lot of them.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
And yeah, so you might want to set up a meeting with Karen Burke, the new director of the Council on Aging, because she'll want to start getting seniors signed up, and then you all will want to come up with your plan of action to get youth shovelers signed up. And the earlier the better, even though it's hard to think about it now since it's still 70 in the middle of November, or in the early November.
Yeah, I did see like their newsletter that came out recently in the past week or so. And I did see that there was like a blurb about the Snow Angels and like a number to call if you're interested. So I think it's already I think they're already like assuming and getting the word out. So I guess that's good for us. So that if people get that newsletter, then they can maybe sign up or hear about it.
That's good. I'm wondering if it's the same one as last year.
Yeah, I think they have a meeting in next week or the week after that or something. But I'll definitely be going to that, and I can mention the Snow Angels to them.
Okay, thank you. And I'll share the documents with you before Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good.
And then just a reminder, this is how thinking about how you want to utilize Ollie and the communication subcommittee to kind of communicate out some of the things that you might need. So once you figure out your plan, then communicate out to that team.
And just as an update for newer members, the Snow Angels was a project that Juliana ran last year that connected older Wakefield citizens who like weren't able to like shovel out their driveways and things like that with younger student volunteers who would like help them out for them so they didn't have to shovel. So we are going to do this again this year. So the next item on our agenda is the Veterans Day Lake Cleanup, which is happening on Friday, November 11th from 2 to 3. And we are co-sponsoring this event with the Wakefield Youth Action Team and the Warrior Cleanup Crew. And I think we're waiting to hear back from other groups if they want to co-sponsor it too. So we're still waiting on that. It will take place in the Lower Commons and at the Galvin Middle School. So for every 1 pound of trash that is collected, there will be a $2 donation to the Wakefield Veterans. And I know last week Ollie had the first communications meeting where he talked about this. So Ollie, did you want to give an update?
Yeah, so that meeting went very well. So we worked out all the logistics of the event. So as you said, the time, locations. So there are some things that I wanted to bring up about it. So we have the flyer created. We're just waiting to hear back from the veterans agent so that way we can find out what he's thinking for fundraising. So we can put that on the flyer. And yeah, as you said, we are waiting on some other organizations to see if they'd like to co-sponsor the event too. And so I'd also like to bring up, so we do need more youth council members to volunteer during the event because I know that some people aren't going to be able to during on Veterans Day. So as you said, it's 2 to 3 on November 11th. And we do need volunteers to station the tables at the lower and upper common, and then also at the Galvin Middle School courts and fields. So would anyone be interested in doing that? Yeah, Ahmed.
Yeah, I'd be interested in volunteering, but I was also going to say, I asked Youth Action Team, like Vanessa mentioned, they are going to be sponsoring it. I also asked, I'm a leader in Social Interact, and I asked the Social Interact Club in Wakefield and the Wakefield High School, and we are also going to be sponsoring it.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I'll add that social awareness to the flyer.
Yeah, we'll try to like get people to come.
Yeah. And if anyone finds out that they can volunteer and would like to, you can email Vanessa, me, or Catherine about that, because we do need more volunteers. And also we do need more members to help with the publicizing of it. So we have it on the, we have an announcement on the high school morning announcements. So I would like one of our middle school members to volunteer to, because I already have the text to send. I just need it to be sent to the person in charge of the Galvin Middle School morning announcements. So Sadie or Druvy, would either of you be interested in just sending that along to the Galvin morning announcements?
Yeah, I could definitely try to help. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll send that to you what to say, and then you can send that to the Galvin morning announcements.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then other than that, I don't really have any other updates in regards to that. Catherine, did you want to say anything about this?
No, we'll just, like everyone said, we do need youth members that are in town that day to be able to kind of be at the event. So this is Friday, November 11th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And so we'll have 2 different stations. So I will be in touch via Remind and in other ways.
Yeah, I was just gonna recommend that. So I thought maybe like we could send out like a poll or something to see who's free then. Or again, like Ali said, you could always email myself, Ali, or Catherine if you're available to find out more information. Ali, I was wondering if there were going to be like food or like drinks. I think you said that they did last year, or you guys were going to, and it didn't work out. But I feel like that could maybe be like a good incentive to get more volunteers if that would be like a possibility.
Yeah, so we spoke about that at our last meeting, and we ultimately decided against doing the food and beverages because it was a bit hard to manage last year. And we don't think, and it was hard like getting the stuff to each of the stations. And of course, things ran out. And then it wasn't as big as of an incentive. So like the cons outweighed the pros of it. And we discussed it and we decided that we would leave it off the flyer.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Just like by a show of hands, do you guys know if you would be like interested in volunteering or available that day? Okay, thank you guys. Were there
Wait,
any
so do we only have 2 members that are available?
I think so. That's all I saw.
Do we
Madeline?
even want to do it then?
I did, I did want to add, we shortened it, I believe, right, Ali, to only 1 hour?
Yeah, we shortened it to 1 hour. Originally, it had been 1.5 hours, but yeah, it's 1 hour now.
Yeah, so it's like only 1 hour out of the day. I would definitely do it if I were in town, but unfortunately I'll be away.
I think I'll be able to make it. So I'll definitely be there. As of now, my schedule is free for that time. I don't know. Definitely need to get the word out about that, but thank you to the people who are volunteering. Were there any final questions about that? Ahmed?
If we don't have volunteers, I could always ask some leaders from Social Interact to come and help us out. If you guys want that, there's 3 other leaders with me, and I'm sure they'd be willing to help out if they were free.
Yeah, definitely. That would be great. Yeah, would be like totally open to working with them. So thank you for that. Okay, so for the next item, so there's a open town meeting that happens about twice a year in the spring and fall. And Mr. Stephen Mayo reached out to us asking if it was possible for some members of the youth council to lead in the town meeting in the pledge on Saturday, November 19th at 7 a.m. And the meeting is located at the Galvin in the auditorium. So I don't know if any of you guys would be.
Just to correct the time, 9 a.m. I don't want to scare anyone
Yeah.
off for having to be there at 7 a.m.
Oh, sorry.
9 a.m. still scary for a teenager.
Yep, but less scary than 7 a.m. on a Saturday.
Thank you for that. Is anyone available at that time? Ahmed? I think that's.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask, what would it involve? Basically, just saying the pledge of them.
Like Catherine, did you want to expand on that? Because I'm not fully sure what they had in mind.
Yeah, I think they would just invite a few of the youth council members to stand up and lead the town meeting attendees in the Pledge of Allegiance. So it's really simple. You don't have to say anything. You can just get up there and lead the pledge.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's only a 5 or 10 minute commitment at the end of the day. So
yeah, you don't have to stay for
if
the
you
whole
are
meeting.
able to be there at 9, you're probably going to be done by 9:05. Obviously, if anyone wants to stay for town meeting, it is an open meeting and everyone's kind of welcome to attend. But certainly for the pledge, if you're not able to stay beyond that, you're free to go after that.
Paige?
I can volunteer.
Okay, that sounds good. Ahmed, did you also have your hand up?
Yeah, I can also volunteer. I was gonna say I can be there.
I think it's nice to have a few of you there. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, definitely. Madeline?
I apologize. What day is it?
It is.
It's
November
Saturday, the
19th.
19th.
Thank you. I'll check my calendar right now.
Okay, and Ollie, are you available?
My current schedule says that I'm available, but if it changes, I'll let you know. So if it stays available, I'd like to volunteer too.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely get like a group of a few people, and if schedules change, then that's okay too.
So Vanessa, I'm going to be out of the country. So would you be able to remind everyone the day before and or the night before of the commitment?
Yeah, sure. And I think I'm also free then, so I can be there too.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. And I was going to say, Vanessa and anyone who's able to do it, if you want to check in with me when you get there, I can, make sure that the moderator knows that you guys are there and that you're leading the pledge, and just help keep you guys kind of organized for that.
So just as a summary, I was just like writing down everyone's names. So Ahmed, Paige, Ali, and Madeline. Were those the names for volunteers?
As of right now, I can do it. I just have to check with my parents after the meeting, but I should be able to.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, if schedules change, no worries. Just let me know. Okay. So on Thursday, October 27th, there was the first communications meeting led by Ali. I wasn't able to make it, but Ali, was there anything new with communications or anything we should be updated with?
So we carried, we covered most of the updates that we went over about, because most of the meeting was about the Veterans Day planning. There was one other topic that I wanted to touch on that we discussed a little bit. It was about having youth council like clothing, like sweatshirts, or if we were interested in that. So when we're doing these events, that we can so that people can put a face to a name with the youth council, understanding like who we are, and just to see us out in the when we are doing these events. So we wanted to know what some other council members thought about this.
Paige?
I love that idea. I feel like a lot of other groups in town have that, like even like band and like sports. So I feel like it'd be a good idea. It's like all of like sweatshirts or t-shirts or something.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Even like when we have opportunities like the town day, like if we had like stickers or something like that, we could like give out, and like people could wear those, like not just for us, but also to like hand out merchandise, would definitely be cool. Ahmed, did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea, but maybe something like a little better than a t-shirt, because I feel like with winter coming up, stuff like that, just put stuff over a t-shirt, which would kind of defy the purpose. Maybe something like, I don't know, like a thin, like something like a crew neck, something like that you could put over a shirt, or you could just wear as is. Something like a little bit more manageable than a t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely. Madeline?
So I was at the meeting and I love that idea. My mom, oh, I'm sorry, my dog's barking. My mom is a substitute at the Doll Bear, and they just got sweatshirts, like custom ones that say Doll Bear on them. And she said like they're all really loving them. So I could definitely like send Catherine or Vanessa the link to those if we want to do that, because they're just like custom ones. So we can put our logo and our name and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. And even like back to funding, if we did like eventually want to sell them or whatever, we could, use that extra money that we make from that for other like events or opportunities in the future if, we wanted to do that. Any other ideas?
So unfortunately, the youth council doesn't really have a budget, but I do have access to some other youth engagement funds that we can use through other grants. So we would definitely just want you all to just decide on what kind of sweatshirt you want, the layout and everything, and then I can probably utilize those funds. So they wouldn't be town funds, but the youth engagement piece that one of our regional grants is really supporting, because a lot of communities in our region are looking at the Wakefield Youth Council as a model for really how to build youth engagement, so that we could look at using those funds.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds good. Were there any other ideas or comments of what we should do about like merchandise or clothing? Okay. I think that was a great idea overall, though. So the next item is announcements. I think Mr. Chines already kind of gave an update. I don't believe Mr. Fontanella is with us tonight. But if there are any updates from Mr. Chines, definitely take it away.
Just one other quick update that I wanted to mention. I over the weekend met a city councilor in Malden. And in the course of talking, she said to me, you know, by the way, I wanted to get in touch with you because I know you guys have a great youth council, and we have a group of students at Malden High that are looking to start the same thing. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. I am expecting that she'll kind of reach out to me, and once she does, Vanessa and Catherine, I'll loop you in if you guys are willing to maybe kind of meet with them and share some of the experience that we've had in Wakefield and some of the successes that you guys have had.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, she's like free to definitely like drop in on one of our meetings too. We would love to have her on one of our Zooms or something like that. Catherine, did you want to add anything? Are there any other general announcements from anyone or anything you want to add? Okay. So we are nearing the end. So I know like the schedule for this month school-wise, it's kind of like weird, especially with like the holidays. But I know we have a half day on November 23rd. But it's like right before break, so I don't know if people are like away and that would like be a bad day. But we also
We already have WCAT reserved, Vanessa,
okay.
for next week, because we thought we didn't realize there was another half day. So
Yeah.
we actually have it for next week. I can ask them if we could move it to the following Wednesday.
Yeah,
Which-
I was gonna mention that we also had the half day this upcoming like Wednesday next week. So I'm not sure which one like works better for majority of the people.
The 9th or the 16th?
I think it's the 9th or the 23rd.
Oh, the 16th isn't a half day?
No, I think it got switched around because of Thanksgiving.
I think the 16th, Catherine, is only a half day for the elementary kids.
Oh, okay. So we do have to have it on the 9th then next week, because the 23rd is the day before Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
that would not, so we will have our meeting in person next week, but that'll probably be it for November meetings.
Mhm.
So, so that actually works well because you have the Veterans Day. So it'll be at 11:45 at WCAT Studios. So we'll be in person, right for the early release. And I will, if anyone wants to come early, I will have pizza in the conference room, if you want to come and have some pizza beforehand, because I know you're all getting out of school early.
Yeah, and just to recap for like our newer members, the WCAT studio is located like right behind the high school, and we normally have 2 meetings a month. So one's on Zoom, like this one, and then we have like the in-person one, which normally takes place on the half days. Okay, was there anything else that we haven't talked about that we missed, or anything else you wanted to add? No?
I would
Okay.
like to add that if anyone would like to bring their liaison person to the next meeting and they can join us via Zoom. So say you're working with, you know, the health, I know Alla's working with the chair of the Board of Health, or there's someone that, you know, Thomas is working with Betsy, Sharon, the clerk, although she might be a little busy with or coming off of elections. But if you would like to invite your liaison person to a meeting, that's always great too. We love those meetings.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't had one really yet this year, so definitely excited for our first one. I will say if you could like tell us a few days in advance, that'd be great so that we can add it to the agenda. But if not, we can definitely like make time for that. Was there anything else that we missed? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Second.
Okay. I'm just gonna read down the list of names, and you can just say yes or no. Ahmed Othman,
Yes.
Ali Atui,
Yes.
Juvi Upmani,
Yes.
Juliana Spalding,
Yes.
Madeline Newkirk,
Yes.
Matt O'Brien, Maya Pollard,
Yes.
Olivia Wall,
Yes.
Paige Arkansas,
Yes.
Sadie Lomnack,
Yes.
Sophia Panaghetti,
Yes.
and Thomas Baronato.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next week in person in the WCAT studio on Wednesday.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.